What's up, Chode Nation? Today I want to talk about the DeLorean going back into production.
What's on Jay's mind?
Alright, so check it out. DeLorean Motor Company is now owned by some guy who had nothing to do with the original DeLorean Motor Company. They operate out of Humble, Texas, spelled Humble, Texas. That's right outside Houston. Basically, what they did is they bought all existing inventory, parts inventory that DMC had left over back in 86 or 87, I believe. I think it was 86, and then moved it here to Texas in 87. So now that's their headquarters. Well, what they do there in Humble is they refurbish, I guess, if you will. They have the new parts they can put on there. They've got 99% of the parts required to make a DeLorean. Okay, not the time machine, just the DeLorean, the original DeLorean that came out in 1981. The other parts, they've got the schematics on, they make them there, okay? So basically what they're gonna do, a new law was passed, federal regulations were just passed to where they don't have to operate as a big company like Toyota or Ford or GMC or something like that, okay? They can operate under a different set of guidelines now. Even though they are a car company, a car production company, because they're small, they don't have to operate under quite the same guidelines a bigger company like Honda or Toyota does, all right? And what they're doing, what they're calling these cars, and I've seen the word thrown out there, are reproduction cars, okay? Is that a good term for it? Kind of, sort of. I guess kind of, sort of. There are regulations that do have to meet, however. So the outside of the car, the shell of the car, is going to be parts from 1981. All that is new old stock. Okay, and what that means is basically these parts are from 1981. They're just brand new. They've never been used. It's all in the warehouse in Humble, Texas right now. Right now, it's there. You can go. If you live by there, go try to tour it, or I don't know, knock on the doors or something. Why not? Film it. So what they're talking about doing is, from what I've read, and it's still early on. First of all, production isn't going to happen until 2017. Okay, it's January of 2016 right now, so we're talking minimum a year before they're even talking about going into production. 2017, though, spans 12 months. Let's keep that in mind, too. Not saying it's January and not saying it's December, but it could be any time in that time frame before these DeLoreans are actually rolled out. They're rolled off the production line. They're talking about they have to use a different engine than what they have been using, which was a Volvo engine. I don't know the specs. I'm not a fucking mechanic. I'm just not. So, but they used a Volvo engine, and from people I've talked to, people who work on these cars still today, actively work on these cars. There's a guy out in Forney, Texas, not too far from me. He works out of his house, and he was telling me that basically they're pieces of shit. He has one that drives, and the 25th anniversary was just recently, and 30th anniversary was recently. 30. Anyways, he said he took his DeLorean out to a movie theater out there, and when the movie ended and whatnot, he started up to go home, and the thing didn't start. So literally, he said the movie is art imitating life. He goes, they really are just pieces of shit. Hopefully, if you put a new engine in it, a different engine in it, that helps alleviate a lot of that. They're talking about making the engine a little bit bigger, talking about a V6 engine. It's supposed to be a sports car, but it wasn't really sporty at the time. Yeah, I'm going to ramble about a fucking car here for a little bit. And then I'm going to get to the point. And they were saying that they got two American companies in mind and one foreign company in mind. Foreign company, I mean, who knows? Who knows what it could be? Mercedes, BMW, it could be Toyota, it could be Honda, who knows? An American, I mean, what are the two big? Ford and GMC. So you can safely assume it'd be one of those. Anyways, you put a different engine in it, you got to change the drivetrain, you got to do this, you got to do that. So in theory, the mechanical parts, it should run a whole lot better than it did in 1981 when the cars came out. In theory, that's a good thing, okay? Here's the bad about all this. It's going to make original DeLoreans, which they do sell, refurbished DeLoreans, between, I think it's $35,000 and $45,000 or something like that. Okay, think about that for a second. DMC in Humble, Texas sells used DeLoreans for up to $45,000. All right, let that sink in for just 1 second. Rolling out these new DeLoreans, is going to do two things. One, I think it's going to make the old DeLoreans worth more, or at least sell for more, because people are going to want them. All right. There's only 9,000 original DeLoreans that came off the line. Well, now with these new ones, they got enough parts, they said, for 300 DeLoreans. The price tag is going to be, reports vary, but it's looking between $80,000 and $110,000. Okay, so who's going to be able to get one of these? I guarantee you, DMC, they're not an actual car lot. You can't walk up to them like you can your local Toyota dealer, you know, and just go in and say, here's the car I want. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk financing. You know, and these car dealerships, they deal with 40 different banks. DMC, I can guarantee they don't. So you're going to have your own financing. So you either A, need to have your own money, or you need to be able to get a loan. Either way, regular Joes like you and I aren't going to get a hold of one of these. So as cool as it may sound that new DeLoreans are going to be made, they're not going to be in mass production. You're not going to see them on a showroom floor of a DeLorean auto dealership, because there are none. They don't exist. They're just not there. That's just the simple facts of the matter. There are no DMC car dealerships. You're not going to be able to go up the way and just jump in one, test drive, and buy. So people like me, probably most people watching this video, we ain't getting one. We're not going to get one. $100,000, it's just not going to happen. So as much as I'd like to be excited about something like this, I kind of can't. And you know, it was everywhere last week, all over the internet, how the DeLorean's going to be going back into production and making a big deal about it. Well, read the fine print. 300. People are going to be coming from all over the world, most likely, definitely the country, to get one of these. So DMC definitely is not going to say, okay, make payments to us on it. Because what's to stop someone from going down there, putting down a little down payment, driving off, later bitches, never see them again. They'd lose money. So if you got the funds, go for it. But then again, oh, let's keep this in mind too. That's not a time machine. And with the time machine is the one in Back to the Future with all the shit on it, okay? That's what I mean. That's not a time machine. That is a basic stock DeLorean with nothing added onto it. $100,000. Go get a kit for another $50,000. So have fun with that. But that's what's on my this mind. That's what's on my mind this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all later.